the Beckforce team dealt a blow when Jack gets the vertigo. Seen Jack on social media talk about a little hospital visit, talked a little bit about getting better and try to win a couple more races in Vegas. So based on his social media traffic, it looks like they're preparing to race in Vegas and Pomona. Bummer though, right? Like no other way to say it than a big bummer for that team, because they were, I don't want to say they were cruising, but they were in command for second. And now they're going to have to fight it out against Hagan, Caps, and I don't know. Hagan and Caps, I think, are in the mix for second place where Beckforce currently resides.
Yeah, and, Bob Tasca has publicly said, we're in test mode for next year. Congratulations, Austin, you deserve it. But they are getting ready for the future. So, does that mean they can't win a race? No, that doesn't mean that. They certainly could go out and win a race, but their focus right now is more learn. So, you just race with a little bit of a different mental attitude at that point. The second place is, it's a big deal. You can tell me, well, it's just the first loser, which a lot of people believe, but, would you rather finish second behind a historic season, or would you rather finish third or fourth behind guys that you're going to have to be battling again next year, right? The big four, the classic big four. If Ron Capps finishes second, they're going to have a little extra pep in their step going in, because they know this was a learning year. They came into the season, right? Knew this, knew that, knew this, knew that. We're going to be testing. We're going to be learning. We know that we're not going to hit our stride until later in the year. If they could pull it off and finish second, then that's going to give them a lot of confidence going into next year that, they basically knew they were writing off the regular season, but then they got into countdown time and still finished second. If Hagan finishes second, then Hagan's guys are going to be, look, we won the championship a year ago. We finished second to a historic season. All we got to do now is make sure we get Proc slowed down a little bit earlier in the year. Beautiful thing. If Beckforce, as you call it, if Jack ends up holding on to second for John, then it'll be, we still don't know what's going to happen next year, right? Is John going to come back and drive? Who knows? Is Jack going to be the permanent replacement? Who knows? Is Robert going to come back and drive that car, or is Robert going to come back and drive, the Proc's car, and is Proc going to? Who knows? But it would be quite an accomplishment for the team to come back after, obviously the horrendous accident down in Richmond. To sit out all those races and then come back and finish second would still be a monumental accomplishment for that team. So all of those teams have definitely got something to race for. They may have conceded, whether they admit it or not, the championship to Proc, but I don't believe any of those guys are going into the last two races going, oh, well, we just got to play out the string, right? To go back to the baseball thing, it doesn't matter anymore. Let's just get these last two out of the way. They all have got something to race for. And it's, I think it'll make a difference going forward.
Yeah. No, for the John Force Racing team, like he left at second place in points. If they finish at second place in points, I think that's mission accomplished for the guys. Like, this is how it was, and this is how it is. And John will hopefully, continue to get healthy. And Brittany said, like, there were some things that were said that alluded to the fact that maybe, and I'm qualifying it in 1,000 different ways. Hopefully, this is not official, but that maybe we might see John before the season is over. And if that were to happen to be true, I would be very happy, of course, in accordance with the doctors and everything that is going on behind the scenes. But judging by some of the intimations, it will be wonderful. And, Pomona, right?
I'll go a step further than that. We're absolutely going to see John before the end of the year. Now, whether it's Vegas or Pomona, I don't know. From what Brittany said, and this was at press conference at the NASCAR race in Vegas last week, that, he was hoping to maybe make it to Vegas. But tell me this, Joe, how are you going to keep him out of Pomona? Anybody.
Right.
How are you going to keep him? So we're going to see him, right? There is no way on the planet to keep him from putting in an appearance at Pomona, 30 minutes from his house, 20 minutes from his shop. He's going to be there. Whether or not he'll be in Vegas, I think is what's really in question. And I, for one, am hoping that he is. I think that it would be a big deal from everything that I've heard. I think it would be a big deal for the fans, right? You can tell people until the end of time, he's getting better. He's making progress. He's getting better. He's making progress. When you see it for yourself, then I think everybody will feel a whole lot better about John. And then they'll really start speculating about, right. It'll be the Angie Smith thing all over again. Well, he's going to be in Pomona. He's going to race in Pomona. No, he's not.
Yeah.
He's not going to race in Pomona.
You better not.
But he's not going to race in Pomona. But if he could come out and just be seen, right? Let the fans see him. Let, maybe do a couple minutes with Brian and Tony in the booth or doing something, just letting everybody know, it's the classic 100 times, right? If something happens, and I can tell everybody, Joe's okay. Joe's fine. No, Joe's good. Did it. As soon as Joe comes on and goes, hey, everybody, I'm fine. Then they start feeling better about it because you got it really straight from the source. And I'm hoping that John can make an appearance in Vegas. If not, like I say, I don't believe there is a force in the universe that could keep him away from Pomona, being that that's his home track and he's already there.
And he's got a funny car that's going to win the championship, and maybe the one he drove is going to finish second. I tend to agree. We'll see. Public service announcement has nothing to do with anybody, but coming from me because I think it's a good idea. If what Alan just said happened to be true, as a fan and certainly me, even as a professional in the industry, please, let's give John as much space as he needs, because everybody is going to want to go up to this guy and oh my God, how it goes. It's like that people are so elated, but when everybody does it all at once, it can be too much. And so I would ask everybody to give him space whenever the time comes. It could be next year. You're going to want to love him. Give him space. That's all. That's a public service announcement from Joe Castello.